My name is Camilla Akerberg and welcome to today's yoga practice. Thanks for joining me on the mat. Today we're going to be focusing on opening our hearts. We're going to be doing quite a lot of back bends and back mobility movements. This will help you open your Anahata chakra, will help you feel energized, feel more love towards yourself, love towards the beautiful nature around us and for other people as well. So come to a nice, comfortable seated position. We'll get right into it. I'm going to start with focusing on our breath. We're going to be inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Inhaling and exhaling. Throughout the class, I want you to keep this focus on this energy flowing through your nose and out through your nose, and it's going to lead the movement that we move through as well. If you're new to yoga, I recommend thinking more about the movements. The breath will then also follow after a little while, but it can be a lot to take in if you're still a beginner. And we're going to be moving with our breath if we can. Beautiful. I'm going to start with a little twist. So bringing your left arm to your right knee and twisting your body. Try and really emphasize on straightening up your spine. With every exhale, I want you to try and push that twist a little bit further. And I'm going to repeat to the other side. So inhale and exhale. One more breath. And return to center. Bring your left arm high up towards the ceiling, bringing your right elbow to the ground, or just keep your hands straight there if you're unable to move this far into the stretch. I want you to try and keep your sit bone on the other side on the floor the whole time. So if you can only come to this position, that's completely fine. Try and open up your chest. Next inhale, come up to center, repeating on the other side, and exhale. Opening up our chest, pushing our opposite sit bone to the ground. And inhale as you come up to the center. And exhale, we're going to start moving our body forward. Just to whatever position you can come down to. You might just be up here. Otherwise, feel free to slowly walk your fingers. With every exhale, move into that pose a little bit further. And slowly start walking your body back up. When you come to a tabletop position, we're going to move through our cat and cow. So inhaling, look towards the ceiling, bring your sit bone to the ceiling as well. And exhale, look towards your navel, round your back. Try and really move with your own breath over here. So inhaling up towards the ceiling and exhale, round your back. Try and emphasize this move as much as you can. So when you round your back, you really, really round your back. Look towards the navel. One more time. Beautiful. Returning to the center, we're going to bring your right arm towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, bring your arms across, give yourself a nice little shoulder stretch. Thread the needle. And return to center, repeating on the other side. Inhaling and exhaling. And return center. And come into a little back bend here. We're going to come to a puppy pose. So I want you to bring your chest to the ground and your arms straight forward. You can try and bring your chin to the ground as well. And from there, slowly move back into your child's pose. Slowly bring your body up and sit on your knees into your hero pose. Shoulders back, chest proud. You're going to bring your arms forward and start with your right hand. With the left one, you just want to pull gently. A bit of a wrist mobility, and to the other side, and repeat. And repeat on the other side. Left hand, your right hand is gently pulling the fingers back. Keep both hands into the front, and we're going to do little rotations. You might hear a little bit of clicks. I can definitely hear that. And the other way. Beautiful. Now sit up on your knees. Bring your left hand to your left heel, bring the right hand up, and try and push your hips towards the front of the room. And inhale back up, and right hand comes to the right heel. Exhale as you push your hips forward. And return to center. Now bring both your hands, grabbing on each of your heels if you're able to do so, pushing our hips backwards. You can let your head fall back here, come into our camel pose. And slowly return back into your knees. Bring your hands to the front. We're going to come back to our tabletop position. Tuck your toes under into our first downward facing dog.
Now the idea of a downward facing dog is to actually elongate your spine. So if you can't keep your heels to the ground doing this, I want you to keep them off the ground. You can even keep your knees slightly bent. As long as your spine is nice and straight, you can let your head fall heavy. Try and push your hands into the ground. Your sit bones should be pointed to the ceiling as well. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Bring your right leg bent up, and we're going to do little rotations here for our hips, so opening up. You might hear little clicks, completely normal. We're going to bring that foot up to the air. We're going to come to a wild thing, so letting it fall over and stretching up the other leg and into a wild thing. Reversing that movement into a downward facing dog. Bring the leg up and right leg comes to the front of the room. Dropping our left knee. Bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Let your body fall into your hips. That should be a nice little groin stretch for you. And try and come into a back bend from here. And slowly come back to center. We're going to be bringing our hands into the middle, on your left hand side of your right foot. You're going to be placing that right knee straight. And if you feel like it, if you're flexible here, you can come down to a lizard pose on our elbow. If you want even more of a challenge, you can take your right hand around and come into a little bind. And returning. If you've stayed in this position, we're now going to place our right hand and put our right foot in the middle, and we're going to come up into a three-legged dog and bring it back to the front so it's parallel or close to parallel with your mat. Bringing our left knee bent for a bit more of a challenge. If you can grab that with your left hand, pull it towards your elbow. Bring your right arm to the left one and coming into your mermaid pose. Remember your inhales and your exhales. If you're capable to do so, you can grab your toes. And slowly lower your body into your swan pose. It's a nice little stretch for our glutes. Walk your hands back up, coming your chaturanga dandasana. Inhaling for our upward facing dog. Exhaling for our downward facing dog. Again, pushing our hands towards the ground. This time we're going to bring the left knee bent up, and we're going to do little rotations here, opening up our hips. And then slowly allowing that foot to fall into a wild thing. Reversing back to a downward facing dog, bringing the left leg to the front of the mat, dropping your right knee into a low lunge. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling, and then slowly coming to a slight back bend. Returning to center. Bring both your hands to the inside of your leg. If you can only come to this position, just stay in this stretch over here. Otherwise, bring your elbows to floor, and then we wanna lift our right knee off the ground. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, coming to your bind here. Oh, it's a bit harder on this side. And slowly returning to center, coming up to straight arms if you weren't already there. Bringing your left foot to the center, pushing it up to a three-legged dog, bringing it back down so that your front leg stays parallel or close to parallel with the mat. If this is not enough of a challenge for you, please bend your right leg, grab it with your right hand, and slowly walk that to your elbow. Left arm comes up. We're gazing forward for our mermaid pose. And if you want to challenge yourself, you want to kind of rotate your shoulders, hold onto your toes, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Slowly lower your hands to the ground, same with your foot. And we're going to come to a sleeping swan pose. So walk your body towards the ground. And slowly come up to your straight arms. I'm going to push that left leg to the back, coming into a chaturanga dandasana. Inhaling for upward facing dog. Exhaling for a downward facing dog. And let your knees fall to the ground, coming to a child's pose. Gaze forward, slowly come up and bring your feet to the front, laying down on our backs. We're going to keep our knees bent. Your heels should be at a distance so you can almost touch them with your fingers. And I want you to cement your heels to the ground, and we're going to come up for a little glute bridges. We're going to be moving with our breath, so inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And the next inhale, we're gonna hold the pose up here. So inhale. And keep pushing your hips towards the ceiling. Squeezing your glutes together. And then slowly lower down with your exhale. Nice. We're going to come to our full wheel. For those who are keen to try that, we're going to bring our hands so our fingers are pointing towards the front of the mat. I'm going to keep your hands about next to your ears. Your hands want to be about shoulder width apart. And I'm going to try and bring my feet a little bit closer. From here, I'm going to push up through my glutes first, and then I'm going to follow with my hands. If this feels quite simple to you, you can play around with different leg movements here. Otherwise, stay and just focus on your breath. And we're going to slowly lower back down. Head, shoulders, and the rest of the back. Whew, nice work. Bring your knees to your chest and give yourself a little hug. Just to reverse that movement. I'm gonna rotate, roll from one side to the other. Give your spine a little bit of a massage. And then bring your feet to the ground, keeping your knees bent. Lower your left leg, keeping the right one still up. I want your hands to come into a T formation. Shift your body a little bit to the right, and then let the right knee fall over to the left. Try and keep your right shoulder still on the ground the whole time, and gaze to the right. With your left hand, you can push that knee a little bit further towards the ground. Such a good stretch for our lower spine. And with all these back bends, having these side twists is very important. And we're going to repeat that on the other side. So right leg comes straight onto the ground, bending our left knee. We're going to shift our body slightly to the left and let the left knee fall over to the right. Left arm stays flat. With the right arm, you can push the knee to the ground. Try and cement your left shoulder to the ground as well. And slowly return to center. Bring both your legs down, feet as wide as the mat. Let your feet fall to the sides. Your arms should come away from your body.
bring your head away from your shoulders. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. And then gently close your eyes. Just focus on the breath. And with every inhale, I want you to invite relaxation. With every exhale, I want you to exhale any tension, any worries, any stress that you might have. With every breath you take, it's energy, the power of life that you're inhaling. And sometimes we forget to be grateful for our breath. Our Anahata chakra, heart chakra, is associated with the element of air. So feel that power of the breath. Relax your body. Feel your feet, calves, hamstrings and quads get heavier and heavier. Sinking into the ground just a little bit further. Soften your belly. Let your hands, forearms, and shoulders sink into the floor. Relax your chest. Let every single muscle in your face that you might have tensed up just relax. Around your mouth, around your eyes, around your nose. Please stay in this savasana for as long as you feel like it. If you have a busy day ahead, slowly make your way to a seated position. From my heart to your heart, namaste. Thank you for joining me on the mat, and I will see you again here soon.